Mornings to everybody, or perhaps good afternoons or good evenings on your side. My name is Dagmara. I'm a Creatio Academy trainer, and today with Robert, that is also an Academy trainer, joined with us here on the call. Hello, Robert. Hi.
Hi there. Hi, guys.
We will be telling you about our 8.3.1 improvements from our newest release. So, today we would like to continue telling you about new features we've introduced in 8.3.1. This is the second tech hour we have on these topics. I believe the first one should now be available on our YouTube. So if you'd like to go back to the previous recording, is there on the YouTube channel. All right. So let's see. Let me tell you first what I'll be showing you from my perspective. So, 1 second, let me just mute your microphone. Sorry about that. Okay, thank you. Let's see. So first, I would love to tell you about the improvements to the business rule that we've introduced with the latest release, list widgets component, which is new, and hopefully this will make it easier for you to talk about and display your data in your dashboards. Manual merge, which of course I hope will be of help as well. Logging export to Excel. Toggle panel improvements and feed subscribe and unsubscribe action, which we've introduced, and also WCG improvements. And on top of that, a little bit about multiple page data sources. Robert, what will you tell us about in your portion of this meeting?
So, actually, my portion for this tech hour will be some details about encrypted fields as we introduce a couple of tiny changes, but I believe extremely helpful for our users. Also, I will show you some new features of our multi-select lookup field. Okay, so we did some enhancement in that. There is also another new feature for our column lookups. Okay, column lookups for the lookups. So we are able to sort by the columns. So we will see how does it work. And at the end, I will show you a little bit about the application validation before installing. So we introduce also some new, I believe, extremely useful features, thanks to which we'll be able to avoid some issues. So stay tuned, stay here, and you will see how does it work. Okay, Dagmar, the voice is yours.
For your part as well. Thank you so much. All right, so let me start then. First, we have a great improvement introduced in 8.3.1. This is a long-awaited support of comparison operators in business rules conditions. So you can now use operators such as greater than, less than, greater or equal, less or equal in both object and page business rules. So this works very similar to the classic UI interface and is now supported in FreeWI. So let me show you in the environment then. Let's see. I prepared a custom section for today's meeting called it Tech Hour Card. Let's take a look, let's say, within a record. Let me create a new record for you. And as you can see, I can introduce a new card record, provide with maybe some card number, the status jumps right to active, and I have a field credit limit. Let's see. The logic in my scenario is that I have a credit limit field here, and in the background, I have a page business rule which states that if the credit limit is less than 2,000, then we hide one element called approval required, which is a Boolean. So as you can see, as of now, we are below 2,000, so nothing is appearing here. But should I introduce a value bigger than 2,000, that approval required checkbox will appear. Now let me show you what it looks like from the business rules perspective as well. So we would go to the top right, go to the Freedom UI Designer, and of course access our business rules setup. We click in the top right, and here we have our business rules. Let's give it a moment to load. And that's the one, as you can see, we have at the top page business rules for hiding elements, and I have my condition. If credit limit is below, it's less than 2000, then we hide elements. Now, checkbox approval required. So, as you can see, this is how it works in a real life scenario. If I were to change it back to, for example, 44, then this will disappear from the user perspective. So our business rule is working perfectly fine according to my scenario. Let's see. What else could I do with this? Another example. For example, let's see. I could use it instead as well. As you can see, I have an object business rule, so this comparison works for both page business rules and object business rules. I could be using this to, for example, set some values or make elements read only, as you can see. I have the first portion of my sentence. If card limit is greater than or equal to 2000, then we set values of my Boolean to true. Or as well, make elements read only. I could use it in such a way as well. So as you've seen, if we go equal to 2000 or beyond 2000, we're going to have a checkbox set to true and also appearing. Here also, I cannot introduce any changes. Perhaps in my scenario, this is what we need. So that's one example of how you could be using this new way of working with these operators. I think this is going to be of great help for you. So hopefully this will make your life easier working with our environment. So I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback in regards to how you like this new feature. Okay, let's see. Let me go back to our presentation. Another great thing that we've introduced, let me see, would be a new component, list widget. So in 8.3.0, we released dashboards in Frisian UI, and then we quickly realized that list widgets are essential for building most dashboards. You often need a list view of data, and now that is possible. So let me take you back to the environment. Let's see an example that I would test you. So if you recall, let's save this. If I open my section, the first thing I can see is the list perspective. So a list of the records within my section. Now, to the top right, I could also click here on this icon and go to dashboards. And now from this perspective, I can see my list widget, which is another great way of us to present our data. It definitely will make it easier for us to maneuver around the records through all of the records that we could possibly have within our section. So the list widget is essentially a regular list, but with a colorful style header, so it looks consistent when placed next to the other analytics widgets. It can be used both in Page Designer by no-code creators and in Dashboard Designer, which is available for end users. Well, let us see it from the design time perspective. So I'm going to go to my application hub, and here it is. Here's my dashboard, tech hour. Let's take a look. All right, here's my widget. And to the right side, let's take a look at its properties. Oh, I have my widget settings. Let's see. Now, as you can see from the tab, you would start with your title. You can, of course, give it the color that you like best and go for the style. As you can see, I went for partially colored, but of course, you could choose differently depending on what suits your environment best. And now, we've also made some UX improvements in the appearance block. So as you can see, if I scroll down a little, I can see under appearance some new ways of having control over this element.
And Daga, I have a
Yes.
question actually, because before I couldn't see this kind of settings for the regular list. So is it also available for the regular lists?
Yes. Yes, it's also the same set of settings you would see with a regular list, which I think is very nice because it makes it more consistent. So while working with a widget or a regular list, you'll see the same set of appearance settings here. So I think it makes it even easier to move through this new component and the previous list, regular list. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you.
All right. So how can we work with this? As you can see under appearance, for example, it's now possible to hide the list header for the users or disable specific options such as changing column order, resizing columns, or executing sorting. As you can see in my scenario, I'm still showing the list header, but I've disabled all of these actions as well as inline editing in my scenario. So in my case, in my scenario, in my environment, I'm not allowing my colleagues to have so much freedom with this widget, but of course, on your site, you can decide however much freedom you want to give to your user, of course, depending on your scenario. Now, let's see. Another great feature in lists and lists widgets is the ability to limit the number of rows. As you can see here at the bottom, I have limit number of rows. In my scenario, I'm limiting to 3. The main use case is when you want to display perhaps only top 5 or top 3 or top 10 records in your scenario. For example, I have a list. Let me go back here. As you can see, it shows me only 3 results. So I have my top 3 cards that are soon to expire in my environment. Let's see. Also, since I'm preventing any changes to the order here, as you can see, they are sorted just the way I decided to sort it should be from the admin's perspective. Okay, that would be all about the list widget. Let's move on to the next topic. 1 second to move back to my presentation. 1 second. There you go. All right. I believe that this is another long-awaited feature that was present in Classic UI and now is available in Freedom UI. This is manual merge, and I believe this can be very, very useful when you have duplicate records with slight differences in field values. So, for example, let me go back to my custom section. Let's see. So in my section, I may find 2 nearly identical records. They have some differences. I can select them and use the new merge option in the bulk actions menu. Let's see. For example, it could be these 2, and then I could say merge. As you can see, we have an additional button, additional option here. Let's give it a moment. Now, the interface looks the same as in Classic UI. The logic hasn't changed, works the same, but now it's more flexible. So you can choose which values will be saved in the resulting merge record. And after running the merge, you'll see a notification in the top right panel, just like before. Refreshing the list will show you the merge results with the chosen values. So for example, I want the final record to have these values, let's say active, and let's click merge. As you can see, one notification that the changes, the merge is happening, and then I would expect a notification, a system message, of course, that it's been successfully merged. Perfect, easy. So I believe this is more flexible than in Classic UI because in Freedom UI, thank you, Robert. In Freedom UI, manual merge is a general action for a button. You can use it on any page with any button. Just connect this action to the list, or you can add it to bulk actions, as you can see here. All right, and also keep in mind that manual merge works for both lists and galleries, so something to keep in mind. Maybe this also will be of help for you in your real-life scenarios. Okay, what next? Let me go back to my presentation. Go. Okay. I believe this is an important security feature. You can now log exports to Excel actions. So for example, if I export records from my custom section, then I can go to audit log and see details of this happening from that perspective.
0853-09974.
Oh, let me just
Tenente João Siqueira, como posso ajudar?
mute the microphone on somebody's side. I'm so sorry about this. All right. Okay then. Let me go then to the environment to show you how this works. Let's see. All right, so I'm looking at the perspective of my section. Let's export to Excel. Let's see. To the top right, we have a button, 3 dots, and we can say export to Excel. Let's export once. Let's give it a go again. And again to have some more results. And now let's go to audit log, see if we can have some results visible from that perspective. So I'm going to go to the top right, click on the cogwheel to the top right settings. And now under users and administration, you can find audit log right here. Let's go there. Let's give it a moment. And as you can see at the top, I was already filtering my type export to Excel, and I can see some results. As you can see, I was also exporting some details yesterday. I was exporting just a few moments ago, and I can see these actions happening from the audit logs perspective. So we can see who exported the data, when, how many records, which columns as well. This provides us with better tracking and accountability. Something to keep in mind, to be able to see details on the export from the audit logs perspective, you must first enable logging in the log export to Excel events system setting. So let me show you, just so you would have it in the recording, where you can find it in case you would like to check this feature out. So we would go to the top right, and you would have to scroll down just a little bit to our system setup. And here in the middle, you have system settings. All right. As you can see, I already have my way filtered through to the system setting, but just a reminder, you would have to click here on filters and folders, add filter, and you can just type in so. And here it is. This is the one we're looking for, log export to Excel events. You would have to open it. And the thing that we're looking for is right here, the default value. As you can see, it's set to true on my side. This is why I can see some results in the audit log from my perspective. So something to keep in mind if you want to check this feature out, make sure the default value is set to true on your site in your environment. All right. Another thing that I would like to show you is related to toggle panel improvements. Give me just 1 second to move back to my presentation. So, okay, so toggle buttons can now work with business rules, something I believe was a highly requested feature. For example, I have a page with my toggle buttons and a checkbox controlling feeds visibility. Let me play. So back to our environment, let's go back to our card. Let's open a new record. Let's see. As you can see, I have the feed checkbox here. And now to the top right, we have a couple of toggle buttons. I have feeds, attachments. I could also be adding some custom tabs here as well. Now, when let's see, if I mark it, then as you can see, I can decide that if this checkbox is checked, then let's say the feed disappears. This could support our logic. This could be of help for us in a real life. This means toggle buttons can now interact with business rules. And this action of my toggle panel button reacting to me checking and unchecking this happens because I have a business rule, a page business rule, which is allowing me more control over this step. So let's take a look at the rule itself. Let's see, here it is. All right, so as you can see, very simple rule. If feed is set to true, then we hide elements, and now I can work with the toggle button. All right, at the same time, we've also added improvements for toggle buttons. Previously, it was not possible to change their order. You had to delete and re-add them in the correct sequence. Now, let's go back here. Cancel this. Wait 1 second, tabs. Here it is. All right, I have my feed and I have my attachments. Now we can simply reorder them in the right panel, and the change is reflected on our canvas. So for example, I could decide that maybe attachment should be moved. So we can right away see how it's going to affect our canvas. Also, we've introduced the change of the view of your toggle buttons here. Let's see. Let's see. We have a drop-down perspective and a button perspective. And give me just 1 second. Here it is. Oh goodness, I couldn't find it right there. So sorry. Here under appearance, of course, we have a toggle view mode. So as you can see, now it's set to button. Of course, this is something that we are already familiar with. Now, we could change it to drop down. Now, once we change it to drop down, the default route becomes mandatory. So we have to decide which one of these will be the first one that will be displayed from the user perspective. So if I decide it's going to be feed, then feed will be the first proposition from the user side. Or I could just change it back to attachment. So we have a way to define which tab is shown when the page opens. So if, for example, I go to button and I have default tab set to attachments, this is going to be the one that's going to be open when we go to the record, which I think, again, gives greater control over what's happening on our form page of our record. All right, let's see. Let's go to the next one. Again, just 1 second. There you go. The next one is related to feed. So our feed is a very convenient tool for internal communication, and it's important not to miss notifications, of course. So in classic UI, we had an option to follow the feed, which allowed subscribing to notifications. In Freedom UI, this option was missing, but now it's available as a no-code action button. Let's see. Let's go back to the environment. There we go. Let's open a new record. All right. And if you recall, we have our feed toggle button with its own panel where I could be posting messages directly even within this record. Okay, let's see. Within each, you could introduce some messages. You could say hello, of course. And if you recall, from this perspective, you'll be seeing these messages here as well, and your colleagues will see them as well. Of course, if you tag somebody individually, they will receive a notification as well, but I believe you probably already know all of this. Let's see. I have an extra button here within my feed panel, which allows me to follow or unfollow feed. Let's see. I could click and see you have unfollowed updates of the feed tech hour number 2, which is my record. If I click again, then I am following updates. So you can just decide where you want to follow or where you want to unfollow. All right, this is happening because this may be of help for us if we have multiple feeds and if we have multiple data sources. So I believe this is very, very convenient for a real life scenario. Let's see what it looks like from the other perspective. We can go to our Freedom UI definer. Let's take a look at the button itself. Let's click on the button. And as you can see, the action of the button states follow, unfollow, feed. All right. So again, we can select the feed component I want to control. This is important. Again, if I would be having multiple feeds, multiple data sources, very, very convenient tool. And then after saving the changes, refreshing the page, I can click on the button, subscribe to feed notifications, or change my mind whenever I change my mind. Let's see. As a reminder, as you can see, the button is smart. It knows if I was already following the feed or not. We could perhaps test it. So I can post something here, already posted something here. And we could take a look at somebody else's perspective, maybe. So I have another user. Let's take a look at their perspective. All right, let's see the recent record. For example, this one, 21. All right, let's see. Are we subscribing here to anything? Let's click. We are following updates on record number 21. Okay, that's number 21. Let's say hello within this record. Let's give it a moment to appear here. Our record number 21. Let's go back to the supervisor perspective. Let's put some message within this record. Let's give it a moment to load. Let's go back to our section. And that was this record number 21. Let's reply. Let's post something new. All right, and let's go back to the previous user. Let's see if they received any notifications. I also have one. Oh, but that's a system message. I was not subscribing to the record. Let's see if Daga received any notification for that record. All right, let's see in the top right corner, I have a notification. within feed notifications. There they are. I can see that supervisor posted some messages. If I click here, I should be taken directly to the record that I'm subscribing to. And again, this way it will be easier for me to follow along, making sure I will not miss anything from this perspective. All right, lovely. Let's go back to supervisor. As we definitely have more rights from the supervisor perspective. Something to keep in mind is a button can be added to any page containing a feed component. So normally posting to a feed automatically subscribes you, but this button allows following without posting. All right, something else I wanted to tell you about, which I think is very important and I think very, very user-friendly. There you go. This is related to WCAG improvements. So we continue enhancing accessibility. For example, in components like Message Composer, animations save page space but make navigation difficult for screen readers or keyboard-only users. So this has been addressed. Let's see in the environment. Let me go to my Tech Hour section. Let's open any record. First, let's take a look at the Message Composer component. So here, as you can see, if I click here to start typing a message, then and only then additional buttons appear for me. This could be great from my perspective, but we have now a different way for this component to be presenting itself for us. Now, if you go to the top right to your profile here and say your profile, then you would have to go to accessibility settings, which is another tab that we've introduced a couple of releases back. You can see a new option appeared. Enable accessibility optimized mode for page components. Let's see. When enabled, extra animations are disabled and all fields are visible immediately. So I believe that this improves usability for screen readers and keyboard navigation. Let's check this out. Let's say true and safe. Let's give it a moment to introduce the changes from the user perspective. Let's then go back to our section. Let's open any record. And as you can see, the buttons are visible right away for easier access, maneuvering around the page. So, following feeds, accessing components, that would be now easier for all users, which I think is a great improvement. Okay, and the last thing from my side, I'll give you the floor, Robert, in just a second. I'll just share the last one. All right, there you go. Okay, so multiple page data sources. We've introduced this in 8.3.0. In 8.3.1 release, we've added a minor but I believe very important improvement for edge cases when using multiple data sources. So from the beginning, Creatio has ensured data consistency when saving pages with multiple data sources. If saving data to one source results in a validation error, the data will not be saved to any other dependent page data source. This was already true in 8.3.0, but it worked only for validation errors appearing in the UI side of the application. For example, if a mandatory field displayed on the page was left empty, the error would prevent saving. In previous versions, if a back-end validation error occurred, data was discarded only from the failing source. Now, all data is packed in the same transaction, and if there is an error, the entire transaction is cancelled. Okay, So that would be it from my side. Let me give you the floor, Robert. Thank you guys so much. Let me just give you access to
Okay,
share.
thank you, Dagmara. So yeah, just let me know. Okay, I believe that right now I'm able to control this meeting. Okay, guys, so let me just share my screen. All right, is my screen visible? Okay, perfect. Thank you, Dagmara. Okay, so I will be talking about the encrypted field enhancements. Okay, so guys, what we change? Actually, from now, the read-only statement is available for encrypted field. Okay, so before we weren't able actually to make this field as a read-only. Okay, so in a second I will also show you that in our Freedom UI Designer. So that is one thing which we have changed, and also we added the possibility to mask and unmask value in the runtime. Okay, so user can click on this kind of small icon, and we can show and hide our value. Okay, so let me just show you that in the runtime. And just give me a second. I will switch my presentation to the environment. Okay, just let me go there. Okay, so here what we'll do. I will go to the contacts. Let's say we'll go to the contacts, and I already prepared one field to show you. So I will go to Alexander Wilson. I will go to Alexander Wilson. And here, Alexander Wilson has this kind of field. Okay, here in this form page, we have this kind of field. So it is called social security number. That is encrypted field. Okay. So here you can see this kind of small, I will zoom in, this kind of small icon, okay? So by clicking it, I can show the full value and I can hide it, okay? So before we didn't have this kind of possibility. So from now, user is able to show and hide this value, right? But that is not the only thing. So let's say I would like to make this field read only. Of course, I can go to the edit form page. So I use the small cogwheel as a shortcut. So let's go here. Let's wait till it will be loaded. So guys, on the trainings, I'm calling the small cogwheel as a baby cogwheel. So, you know, you have the mother cogwheel and the baby cogwheel. So I'm not sure if I'm supposed to call it like this, but it works. It's very easy to remember during the trainings. Okay, so let's wait till it will be loaded. Okay, here it is. So let's go to our encrypted field. Okay, so here is the social security number, and for now we can make it as the read only. Okay, as the read only. So in editability, I can also mark it as read only. Let's say I will select this one and I will save it. Okay, I will save it. Okay, so let me just show you how does it look like in the runtime. I believe if you already worked with Creatio, you will know how that will look like, but just to make sure it will be here. Let's make it save. And I will show you that in a second. All right. So let me just wait a little bit and we'll reload the page. Honestly, guys, I have only a couple of things to tell you more, and I believe my part will be much shorter than Dagmara's part. So that's the thing. Okay. let me just also try to reload the environment. At the same time, I hope that it will be done in a second. So let me just show it quickly. Okay, so this one's reloading. And we'll see how this field is locked. And later on, I will show you a little bit about lookup. Okay, so guys, as you can see right now, the social security number is locked. Okay, so that's the way. How does it work like? Very simple. Okay. All right.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if there is a way for us to work with different object here.
With different objects and encrypted field. Actually, yes, that is also possible. So, okay, guys, maybe I will present you this also. So let's say that we would like to use our encrypted field as an input from a different object. Okay, so in that case, let's say I will go to cases, right? Let me just go to cases, and I will try to add this field here in cases. Okay, so it will be a different object. So here we have our cases and the same baby cogwheel, right? So let me just go to the form page and let's make it load. Right. Okay, here it is. So let's say that here in our cases, I have a contact, right? I have a contact. So let's say I would like to have this social security number from this from this contact here. Okay, so I'm going to inputs and I'm choosing my encrypted string. Okay, encrypted string. Let me just put it here under contact and let me connect the data source. Okay, so it will be case related objects. And here I'm looking for the contact. And here in contact, I have my social security number. Okay, social security number. Right? So it is connected. Let me just save it and let's check how does it look like here. Okay, let me just check how does it look like here. Right? So this one is saved. Let me reload this page. And we'll see. So actually, that is Dagmara. It's good that you mentioned this because also I don't think so that it was possible before. So now, as you can see, I'm in cases, right? In cases, and also I can connect this encrypted field from a different object. So as you can see now, in the case under contact, I have also the social security number from Alexander Wilson, right? So that is also a new cool feature, which I believe will be extremely useful in your projects. Okay. All right, guys. So regarding encrypted field, that will be all. Let's go to the next topic. So let me just switch to the presentation. So we'll talk about multi-select lookup. Okay, multi-select lookup. Just give me a second. I will run presentation. Okay, here it is. So what did we change? So for now, we have this kind of opportunity to set up some pre-configured filtering, okay, for the values of our multi-select lookup. All right. So we don't need to show all the values. If we have this kind of need, we can apply a filter, okay, pre-configured filter. So we'll be showing only particular values depending on our needs, Okay, so that is the first change. And also, for now, we have this required statement. So in case if we have multi-selection lookup or multi-select lookup, then we are able to mark this field as required. Okay, to mark this field as required. So let me just show you where we can set up in the live environment. Okay, so just give me a second. I will go back to my environment. Okay. Okay, here it is. So again, I will go to the contacts. Let me just go to the contacts. And I already prepared one multi-selection lookup to show you this. So in the contacts, I made this kind of change. And here, the contact type is a multi-select lookup. Okay, so I can select, for example, customer. I can select, let's say, the other value was a contact person. So as you can see, I can make a multiple selection here. Okay, so to edit this, and that we can say values to set up some filters, of course, we need to go to our Freedom UI designer. I can close this one already. Let me just go here, and we'll go to the settings of this particular field. Okay, I don't think so that it will surprise you where it is, because that is in the settings of our field. And I believe our team did a great job, so it will be clear and visible to use. Okay, so let me just go to our contact type. Okay, so this one is a multi-select lookup. Okay, so we have all the settings for the multi-selection, but the new thing is this part. Okay, apply static filter for lookup. So for now, you can use it to filter these values. Okay, you can just simply click setup filter, and now it will work as all the other filters. Okay, so you can add condition however you would like to. Okay, for now, I'm using this kind of example where we don't have a lot of values, so I will be not setting up, but for your information, that's the most important, that you will know that now you can use it, okay, for the multi-select lookup, okay? And the other thing which I was mentioning in the presentation was required field, okay, required field. If that field will be required, okay, so also here we can mark it as required. So let's say I would like to have it as required. Let me just save this, and I will go back to my runtime, and we'll check the effect. Okay, so let me just wait till it will be loaded. And now let's refresh it. Okay, let's refresh it. So let me just wait a second. And we'll continue. Okay. I hope, no, yeah, now it is already loaded. So please have a look that, let's say I will add another customer. I will save this, all right? So now I have two lookups, okay? Two lookups, two values in this lookup field. But I also mark this field as a required. You can even see this kind of red star here. So let's try to leave it empty. Okay, I'm deleting all the values. Let me try to save this. And unfortunately, I cannot. So Creatio says at least one value must be selected, Robert, in the contact type. Okay, so that's the way how does it work like. So for now, you know this feature from the other fields. Now it is also available for the multi-selection lookup. Okay, for the multi-selection lookup. Okay, so let's go to the other topic, also related to the lookups, but for the regular ones. So let me just share presentation. Okay, this one is really cool. Let me just run it. Okay. All right. So, guys, from now we are able to set up some sorting by column. Okay. From now we can sort the values in the lookup based on a particular column. Right. So in case if our values in the lookup field are not in a very clear order, or we would like to change it, we can also set up sorting by the column. Okay. So let me just show you how does it work like. I also prepared the example for this one. And that will be just right here. Okay. So let me run it. So guys, I will go to accounts. Okay, I will go to accounts, and let's say we will run alpha business. And here we have this kind of field called number of employees. Okay, number of employees. So I can choose, the user can choose how many employees we have in this company. All right, but look, how does it look like? I mean, it's 11, 20, 201, like 500 and so on. Here, suddenly we have 24. I mean, it's not very user friendly, I would say. Okay, so let's take care of it. So of course, let's edit this form page. And we will use our sorting by column. Okay, sorting by column. So let's hit load. Okay, so let's go to the number of employees field. And here we'll look for this new setting. Okay, where do we have it? Okay, here it is. Here it is. So sort by column. That's the one. Sort by column. And now it is sorting by ID. So let's say I would like to sort it. Maybe I will zoom out a little bit. I will sort it by position. Okay, I will sort it by position. Okay, so that will be the only change here. Let's save it. Let's save it. And we'll check how the list will look right now. Okay, so this one is saved. Let me just refresh the environment. And here we'll check how our list look like. Okay, so number of employees. Let's go to this lookup. Oh, and now, as you can see, it looks much better, right? So in that way, we can change the way how we are sorting our values. Okay, how we are sorting our values. So that is something which I think is extremely useful in our daily work. Okay, because then it is much easier for the user to choose a proper value, right? So you can of course use it for any lookup, and I believe now we have the full control over our sorting. Okay. So now let me just go to the last topic. Okay, the last topic, which will be about our installation validation. Okay, so let me just run a presentation, and also let me use the proper environment. So guys, just give me a second. Okay, I will go here and let me present it. Okay, so guys, what it is about? So for now, we'll get some notifications if there will be something wrong in our application hub, in case if we would like to install some kind of package. Okay, so if we'll be trying to install package which requires some dependencies and will not have these dependencies, Creatio will let us know. okay? Before we didn't have this information. We were just installing it and then we were facing some issues, right? For now, Creatio will already tell us, hey Robert, here we are missing some parts, okay? So let me just present how that will look like, okay? Let me just go to the environment. Right. Let me just go here. And I prepared like a package which requires a couple of dependencies. So let me just run this. Okay. So here I will, of course, go to the new application. I will go to install from file. Let's select. And now I will use my, just give me a second. I need to find this one. Okay, I will use some demo package. Okay, let me just move it here. Oh, sorry, that is not the drag and drop. Okay, that will be a demo package, right? And let's load this one. Okay, so as you can see, we can't retrieve required dependencies, all right? And we have some recommendations. To install the package, manually install the required packages listed below and try again. So now I know, okay, I forgot firstly to install this package, right? So we already have this information, what we should do, and that is the recommendation, right? For another actions, okay? So that is something, what do we have now, right? Let me just go back to the presentation. So the next actually adjustment here is a marketplace apps installation. Okay, so also in case if we are trying to install any apps from the marketplace and we are missing some required applications, we'll also get some notifications about this. Okay, so that will be also something what we'll see. Okay, let me just show you this quickly because I can see that we are running out of time a little bit, but I don't think so that it will take a lot of time. Okay, guys, so let me just create a new application. Let's say I would like to go to our marketplace and I would like to find some FinServ. Okay, FinServ. Okay, let me just click on this one and install. Okay, all right, continue. And let's try to install this one. Okay. All right, so can't retrieve required dependencies. Same issue, right? So I already have this information before installation, not after, right? So before installation, I already know that I need to install something more, okay? And the last, actually, upgrade here in this kind of, we can say, installing functionality. Let me just go back to the presentation. Okay, from slide, right? So it's a custom apps installation. Okay, so in case if we are installing custom apps, we'll also get a notification about this, what do we require, but it will be not only about missing parts, it will be also about the versions. Okay, it will be also about the versions because, for example, I can have I can have already, let's say, customer 360, right? But maybe this one will be not updated and I will need the latest version, right? So Creatio will also give us this kind of information. So let me try to present you this, right? So let me just share it. So let's create a new app. I will install it from file. And now let me just select another one, demo application. Okay. And here it is. So please have a look. Like to install the application, manually install the required applications or packages listed below. Okay, required version, installed version. So my version is old, okay? It's 1.11.5 and I need version 11.12.21, okay? So I already know that I need it. And let me also try to show you, I believe I can just quickly show you where we can set up a required versions, okay? So here I have my demo application, okay? I have a demo application, and when I will go to the settings of this demo application, just right here, edit application, going to dependencies, I can edit what is the required version. So let's say I have my own application and here I have dependency with customer 360. I can also manually type what is the required version for this one, okay? And also I can specify what is, let's say, the range of the versions, okay? So you will get all that information, how to type, we can say, this range on the versions just right here, okay? So also we can specify it here, right? So that's actually all from my side. That's all from my side. So I believe we'll be finishing this and this tech hour. So guys, thank you so much, Dagmara. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Thank you so much, Robert. Thank you for your presentation. And yeah, thank you everybody who joined. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Of course, keep in mind the recording will be updated on our YouTube channel. The recording from the previous Tech Hour on this release is also there already. And there will be another one, a third portion. So look out for the date on our Academy website. Thank you so much for joining and have a lovely rest of your day then. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.